I was just walking as I normally do, right, or as I was before. And I remember that there's this ocean thing. And I thought, you know, I should probably take off my shoes and walk in the ocean. The sea, I suppose, is probably more accurate. The Gulf. This isn't truly an ocean, but I'll tell you what. I remember when I was a little kid, I was looking out over the ocean, and it was truly the ocean. It was the Atlantic where I was a kid when I was growing up. And I said, God, it's so big. My dad's like, yeah, and that's only the top half. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so I had another gratitude attack, and I wanted to share it because I wondered how many of you guys are in this scenario, and if so, what is it? And the scenario is this. I'm walking along here, and it just flashed into my head, and thus the gratitude attack. It just flashed in my head, I don't have to leave. Which is, if you think about it, is sort of an odd thing to think about, because, I mean, you know, okay, yeah, you've been here a month, Mike. You've been here 6 months, and then, you know, a year goes by and you celebrate. Oh, maybe that's the reason I'm coming up on actually being in Thailand fully, you know, living here. Not leaving. Not necessarily because I wanted to, but I couldn't really with any degree of ease. But until now, if you're watching this video in any degree of currency, then you realize that the Phuket Sandbox thing has been, I guess, effective and decreasing in time of, decreasing in jail time. Which you're hardly in jail. Anyway, I was thinking about that. I was like, yeah, I don't have to leave. And as I was like sort of, I don't know, I guess I was just sort of looking at my feet by the shells and the water and that sort of thing, and for whatever reason, as I looked down, I thought to myself, I've walked a similar path, I guess, in the past. And in the past, it was like, oh, I wish this could last forever. I wish I could live in Thailand forever. I wish I could live at this beach forever. I've probably thought those same things when I've been at a beach in Maui. I'm a fan of Maui. I'm not a fan of the cost. It's distracting. It removes the enjoyment. So I had a gratitude attack, and then I thought, well, you know, I wonder how many of you guys are in a spot where you're like walking somewhere this morning, or you're this evening, or you watch this video, maybe you haven't even watched this video, and your buddy told you, hey, I watched this video, and there was this interesting, maybe it wasn't interesting, there was this discussion about a topic of being exactly where you want to be. Like, there's the discussion occasionally of like, okay, do I have everything I want? And then some people might say, well, no, I don't have everything I want, but I have everything I need. And I don't know when it happened. I think it happened actually before I moved to Thailand permanently. I transitioned from just having everything I needed to also having basically everything I wanted. And I honestly don't know what the steps were that I took to get to that transition, but I can tell you that I think one of the foundational pieces of that is gratitude. This is my hypothesis. Because it always seems like the more grateful I get, the more wonderful things happen in my life, the more better scenarios, the more wants I come to have with the foundational needs already being met. And I don't know if that's happening for you guys. I know that some of you guys that I absolutely respect and love are having a pretty damn good life, but you're not necessarily where you want to be. And I will tell you that from my experience, environment plays a role in happiness for me. If I am living somewhere cold and snowy. Like, I mean, I used to ski a lot as a kid, and I loved skiing, and I obsessed about it. And for whatever reason back then, it was like, yeah, it's cold outside, but it never really registered. Whereas now, Gracie's like, oh, I really want to see snow, you know, because she's never seen it. She wants to see it once in her life, and I'm like, okay. And then I get online, and I'm like, all right, what's it going to cost me to ship her there so she can, not literally, but I'm like, I do not want to go, you know, and I suppose I'm tainting it with bias, and I'm like, so honey, like after the first snowfall, like the novelty's gonna wear off real quick because it's gonna be friggin' freezing. You know, but anyway. I am in a spot today, right now, this moment, and have been for a few moments prior to this, few days, few years prior to this, where I'm really comfortable where I'm at because I've spent the time, attention units, energy, money, potentially, to get to where I want. And I guess I'm reaping the rewards of that? I don't know. It doesn't seem like I got the reward and then it was over. It seems like it's like this perpetual motion machine of awesome. Okay, so I also know that there are guys in my life that I love and respect and care about that are in a spot where they really want to be. They have everything they need and they have everything they want. And if you haven't seen his channel, it's called Idea Studio. His name is Dana Bluin, and he's a really good friend of mine, basically my brother. And I'm pretty certain that he's got everything he needs, and if not everything, close to almost everything he wants. And he's only 40. So good for him. But anyway, that was just my little sort of gratitude attack as I walked along here. My arm's giving out. One of these days, I will actually bring the gimbal / selfie stick that I have paid for with your donations. That was really the only thing I ever used YouTube money for to buy, but it's a really neat item. So anyway, with that, it's Mike from LiveMyAssOff.com saying I hope you're living the dream, and I hope your arms are a lot shakier, less shaky than mine are, and maybe you just listened to this versus watching it and therefore weren't completely disappointed with the caffeinated arm I got going on. I'll talk to you guys soon. Ciao.